Like, this is science. Everything's got its own frequency. We know that energy is neither created or destroyed, it's merely transferred or transformed. When we speak in energy. I don't even think people pay attention half the time in conversation when I say, I feel you, I feel you, I feel you.
You said I read your mind the other day, but baby, we are just connected deeply in another way. That telepathy connection, energy that's manifested through that melanin, electric currents traveling kinetic. What you thinking?
Call my mama.
But my mama calling me. Coincidence, no higher common sense. I call it ESP. We are magic. While this world's unraveling, 5G cannot limit our abilities from traveling. See, I'm on another level, dirty digging. Homie, get the shovel. I'm a rebel in this motherfucker, dancing with these demons. Got them screaming. This world is planting fear inside us. Clearly, I'm just over all the brainwashing. Time to wash your brain of all the pain, of all the stress, all the lies you told yourself. Open your eyes and realize you're a diamond in the rock. Don't let them tell you what you're not. It's time to show the world all this magic that we got with telepathy.
So hear me clearly. For me, language is liberation. The words that we have, they define and describe the very things that free our mind, but only when we choose with intention and pay attention to the frequency of the words that we use to construct our realities. Who do you say that you are? I am. I am. Those two words alone are the very beginning to a powerful sequence of awakening yourself to who and all that you are, have been, and will be. We talk in frequency.
Clouded visions, poison minds, can't see clear enough. The world full of interference, so God ain't hearing us. My spouse miles away, can't even take a walk in public. Coronavirus got us locked away like lab subjects. Close your eyes and you can feel the pain, we all connected. Empath, so I sense when every soul's ejected. A mystic, magical, way beyond simplistic. 5G blocking my chi, keeping our signals twisted. Communicate with my mind, mental telepathy. Into nature, so we speak on different frequencies. My third I watch, the other two never truly see. The world is an illusion shrouded in secrecy. A king by birthright, a god at first sight. Divine shine bright, blind the wicked at first light. Open your heart chakra and let these words shock you. We tell them havoc, use your magic like a witch doctor.
Or ancient Egyptian words of power that speaks to the soul. I command your soul to listen. Nukta chaz un mesura aritun ak em ta tema'u. Nukta chaz un mesura aritun ak em ta tema'u. Nukta chaz un mesura aritun ak em ta tema'u. The chaz un mesura aritun ak im ta
All right, y'all. Peace and blessings. Welcome to another episode of Do Now's Radio. Place for analysis bonus. It's your host. Now it's going to live. We are here in the sun, somewhere under the rainbow.
Absolutely.
Dorothy said, not in Kansas anymore. Okay, we are not in Kansas anymore. All right, different time zones, same mind here for the healing and renewal of our people, one interaction at a time. So we have a great opportunity to learn those practical skills necessary intensely and intently with one who calls us to task. Okay, she don't take no mess. She don't play no game. You understand what I'm saying? Because we're honored and privileged at this time to introduce some of the others, the Yogini in our midst, here to help us reform ourselves from the inside out. YogaBae Jay, welcome to the platform. How you feeling?
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Thank you so much for having me. I definitely appreciate it, Brother Knowledge, and I'm here to share what I know with all the good people. So, yeah, we can just get this thing going on.
So, out of all of the things that you could have done, how did this particular way or path call you, or you call it to you?
Uh, so, um, there was a time in my life where I didn't know really what my skills or talents or gifts were. Not really, not really. I didn't, from what I saw, people would sing, dance, they could braid, they could sew, they could, do all kind of just unique things that I didn't have those skills and talents. Like none of them. I knew how to take care of my family and be an employee. And so that's what I was good at doing. And I guess sometime around the, I don't know, my late 30s, I realized that I have two boys, and I realized that they were getting older. One of them was probably already 20, and one was 16, 17. And I was like, well, what am I going to do with the second half of my life? Again, I didn't think I had those skills and talents that you see people having. And so I just kind of really began searching for something to do. I mean, I was going to be a truck driver. I was going to go get my CDL. Like, I just wanted to sit right. I had no clue, dude, like at all. So I just needed something really to do with this second half of my life. My responsibility with my children was going to change. I wanted just a different direction. And I had kind of always been into health and holistic health and things like that. Didn't think that I was going to go on the path of wellness, though. So as time went on, again, trying to figure out what I was going to do in my life, I knew that the first thing that I had to do was kind of heal myself and change my entire way of living and thinking. And at this time, yoga was still nowhere in the picture. This is just me knowing that every issue, every problem, every good, bad deed that had ever been done, it was all because of me, and I had to change me first. So before I could even think about changing my life, I had to heal whatever was going on inside of there. And whatever the blessing was, it was going to come because now I'm open and ready for it. I'm not going to be blocking it by living in fear or scarcity or anything like that. So when it came time to make this change, it was really about healing myself first. And then yoga came secondary to that. Yeah. Yeah.
So you became your first wellness patient, quote unquote. And
Yeah.
what was that journey like for you? What was your healing journey?
Oh,
Like
it
for
was
you?
scary, it was ugly, and it's beautiful because the journey doesn't stop. It started maybe 7 to 8 years ago, but I think once you realize that you need to grow, you need to change, you need to heal, it doesn't stop. You don't automatically, fix your finances and then go back to having trouble with finances. It continues. You don't heal your inside and then say, oh, well, you know what? I now am on the diet that I want, or I've lost the amount of weight that I want. Now we go back. So it doesn't stop. So again, 7, 8 years ago, I'm about 38 years old. And I was in a relationship that really wasn't going anywhere. And I began to read these books. And the first book that I read was The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And I will credit a lot of my growth to that book. And that book just kind of showed me how to relate to myself and just how to have a better outlook on life and not taking things personal, of course, but to be impeccable with my words. So realizing that my words cast spells. So when I'm speaking over myself, when I'm speaking over other people, just be quiet if I don't have nothing nice to say. So all of those things, always doing my best, not making assumptions. I just learned how to relate to myself by reading that book. And then a few years later, I read another book by him called The Mastery of Love. And that book showed me how I related to other people. And I began to understand that I didn't love anybody including myself. I wanted to control everything. I was operating out of fear. I was scared. I had trauma. I had things in my past that were holding me back. I had people that had been long gone, dead and gone, still in my ears. I was afraid. And so all of the behaviors that I was exhibiting to myself and my mate and my children were really coming out of a place of fear. And so with those two books, in my bag, and now 2 or 3 years on this journey, the things that I really practically had to do is I had to journal, because everything that comes up doesn't need to come out. So it's not that the feelings of hurt and fear, and it's not that people still didn't get on my nerves. Those things didn't stop happening. But I knew that if I wanted to change my life, I had to change my behavior. So just because somebody got on my nerves, you know what I mean? I had already read the 4 agreements and I had to be impeccable with my word. So just because somebody got on my nerves or pissed me off or disrespected me didn't mean that I could go ahead and give them the business. I was healing from that. But the feelings are still there. It's real. The feelings are very real. They're tangible. If you read the book, The Secret, you know your feelings are very real. So I had to write that stuff down. I had to get it out. Feelings are energy. You have to get it out. So I had to, and man, when I tell you I have books and journals, books, 7 years of writing the anger, 7 years of writing the pain, 7 years of writing the happiness that I was feeling. I had to go to therapy. I had to talk to somebody who was smarter than me. You know what I mean? Somebody knows something about this. How do I cope? Because I'm still mad. I'm still 7, and that is still happening to me. How do I cope with this? Because yes, I can journal about it and I can talk about how it made me feel, but now what do I do? Because I'm still scared. I'm still 7. So I had to talk to somebody. And so those 2 things were what I could physically do. And that was part of healing that emotional, that spiritual side. And then I had to heal everything. So I had to change the way that I ate. I couldn't eat everything and you're trying to heal your whole body. I can't be all, healed emotionally, but every other week and I'm getting fried chicken and Popeyes and junk food. And you're lying to yourself. It's not true. You're lying. You want to be on social media. That's not true. You're not. You're fake. So, and that's not a judgmental statement, but I think people that know when they try to get to the realm of just being a better person and you want to be healthy, you have to know it's full circle. It's not one part of you. So I had to change a lot of things that I ate. I had to eliminate certain things, and then I had to pull certain things into my diet that was going to heal my body and heal my issues and things like that. I had to look at my finances. This is, again, over the course of 7 years. Nothing was overnight. I didn't do it all at once because who the hell can do that? I'm not trying to deprive everything. Still got to live. But I had to heal my finances. So there was things I had to give up. I haven't gotten my nails done in years, but these are my natural nails because I healed my body and now my natural nails grow. So I don't have to go to the Asian stores and get my nails done. That's $80, $100 a month that I could save. I do my own hair. I don't have to get weaves and lashes and baby hairs and all that stuff. I use my own hair products and make my own hair grow. So I had to heal my finances and I had to eliminate, I had to sacrifice. Healing comes from sacrifice. I had to sacrifice certain things so I can have more money to buy better groceries. So I eliminated getting some things done. I didn't have 5 streaming services anymore. I knocked it down to 1. You know what I mean? So I could heal my finances. A lot of times we think, well, I need more money. I got to go get a second job. The society tells you work more so you can get more. But I bet you if you look at your own finances and you look at what you can give up, you can have more money in your pocket. $300 is not really going to help me with my bills. Well, let me explain that, when you meet God halfway, He's going to take that extra step. So when He sees you making a sacrifice, and now, yeah, you're right, you only was able to save $300 because of what you eliminated the sacrifice. But somebody will come around and be like, hey, you know what? I'm about to help you with this. I saw this computer that you needed, and I'm going to give you with this. And things happen, you know what I mean? So a little sacrifice goes a long way. And, you know, I've heard people say that's not going to help me. It's like, so if somebody came around and wanted to give you $300 extra each month, you're not going to take it? No. Okay, then. Okay, then. But you won't sacrifice to save $300, but you'll go get a second job. I'm not doing that. So I had to heal all of me, and it took a good 7 years to get there. In that time is when I started looking at yoga. And what happened is I saw yoga like everybody else sees yoga. I saw people on social media in these fancy poses. You know, I can do that. I can't do none of that. You know, I can do that. And I'm sitting here breaking my neck trying to do some stuff like that. But so when I started looking into yoga, I realized that it was more than just the fancy poses, and I really wanted to know more. But I wanted to learn yoga from someone that looked like me. I wanted to learn yoga from a Black woman. I wanted the afro, I wanted the nappy hair, I wanted the fupa, I wanted the extra cushions on the sides. I wanted all of that because that's who I am. You know, I'm a Black woman. I wanted to learn it from a Black woman. And it took me about 4 years to find a Black woman in the area I was in that I could learn yoga from. And when I learned from her, it was an amazing, amazing journey. And I decided to go to school and learn it for myself because I figured if here I am in my 40s looking for a Black yoga teacher, there has to be somebody else looking for a Black yoga teacher. And so when I couldn't find one, I became one. And that is how the journey started.
I hope you take this back and you clip up yourself, because I don't even know if you heard some of the things that you were sharing about what you were sharing when you were sharing about what you were sharing. Okay. And naming some of the psychosis that we suffer from. That lack of representation. That lack of representation of wanting to see yourself and not seeing yourself, wanting to see yourself in a certain likeness, wanting to learn from self in a certain kind of way, and being inadequate or being in the space of lack. Like you looking intently and intentionally to find some part of yourself in this likeness. Nah, I see all of that. That's cool. I want to see this. Oh, this doesn't exist right here. I can't find it. Oh, I couldn't find it because I'm supposed to be it. And taking those reins and doing that. You said about journaling. You said journaling and you said therapy. You said journaling and you didn't put them together. And you said, oh, I had to get it out. We exist in the virtual space now where you see that becomes people's digital journal. Their digital journal. So they're saying things their whole life on the internet, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what is that? Then it didn't click until I heard you say, look, I was journaling, I had to get it out. And I'm like, this is what they be doing. So now I gotta have some grace with that. Like, okay, this is what they're doing. I gotta have some grace with that because this is their outlet. This is where they live. This is how they live, and this is how they interface. So those people in that virtual space that they interface with, this is it. I was like, dang, that was a breakthrough. And then when you talked about therapy, it's like, oh, okay. Do we see ourselves in a space that's equitable enough? Do we see our experiences as worthwhile enough? Do we have enough trust within ourselves because we blame ourselves for the decisions that we make? Now, do we trust ourselves with another decision? You know, now we're in a space to where we're looking to interface with somebody and we're sharing these things that we looked at as failures with them. And then they're helping us process through them. Do we have enough trust in ourselves to make another decision in that way? You know, so I was like, man, like dropping. So I'm like, does she know what she's saying? What she's saying? What she's saying about what she's saying? Okay, that's all I want to know. Like, is she aware of what she's saying? Okay, like, yeah.
I love that you spoke about extending grace because in this, what I realized is that Jill Scott has a line in one of her songs. She says, "We all run in the same race, different paces." And sometimes whenever we get to a point of our healing or our freedom, we forget that other people still have to get there if they choose to. We forget that other people may not know that this is an option also. I know many people that still live in that place of fear because they don't know it's an option or they're just not ready. And I can't really judge them. You know, I can say like, hey, I wish they knew that they could live so much more peacefully, but they're not there yet. And I do have to extend that grace to them. That doesn't mean I have to be with them. That doesn't mean I have to give them my energy, but I can give them my grace all the way over there. So that's one. So I love that you said that. Two, I also grew up in an age where when I was in school, we had creative writing. So it is habitual for me to write. It's, this generation, I don't know if they do that anymore, or maybe they do it more on the computer. They're more, computer savvy and things like that. But we literally wrote when I was in school. So it's still more of just what I know how to do. It's still easier for me to process when I write things down. So that's probably something personal. But I also share a lot of things, little blurbs, little, 2-minute things on social media where I'm sharing a piece of advice or something that I learned. I think that sometimes you have to look at the intention of why people are sharing things. So yes, there's grace, but there's also really you on social media crying. You don't really have to do that. Like sometimes you want attention. You don't want healing. Sometimes you want attention. You don't want to fix it. So I think we also have to look at the intention behind what people are saying and why they are saying it on social media as well. So yes, there's grace, but we also have intuition and, really, you crying. So, we gotta look at that. So don't judge, folks. Bad joke. But it is true, because it is, especially for Black people, we really weren't taught to deal with feelings, or we weren't taught that therapy is good, especially if you grow up like in the church. You better not tell nobody but God. That's, we grew up either suppressing it or acting like it just didn't happen. And so we are untrustworthy of therapists and people because we are taught that we just have to deal with it. And to some extent, at the end of the day, it's true. You do still just have to deal with it. You have to make the choice, even no matter who you talk to, because the therapist is only there to kind of guide you to the answers that you already know anyway. So you really are the person that's dealing with it, but sometimes you need to bounce it off of somebody. And you need to bounce it off of somebody that's not going to feed that bullshit that you're spitting out. Back in the day, I don't do it now, but back in the day, and I know women did it. I don't know how dudes roll, but I know, you have your best girlfriend. And if your boyfriend, your homeboy, somebody, your other girlfriend do something to you, first thing you do is you get on the phone. Girl, let me tell you what so-and-so did. And then girlfriend on the other line is, I wouldn't deal with that. That's that bull. You want to go beat them up? Like, they not healing you. They hyping you up for the toxic. But that's what we did. So, and that's what we're kind of used to doing. But once you want to heal from that, girl, you guess what? You talk to somebody that's going to say, now, wait, is that the best decision? You talk to somebody who's, a little bit removed from that. But at the end of the day, it's still your decision whether you're going to go over there and slash the tires or not.
Oh.
I had to make a few of them decisions, you know what I mean? So.
Yes.
So therapy is a very good tool. We have to get out of our own head that, we're going to be looked down upon, or we're going to be talked about or judged, or, only God can fix it. Yes, and God sends people to you. The Bible says to seek wise counsel. If you follow the Bible, it does say to seek wise counsel. So you can. So you can follow God and a therapist. You can be two things at once, just in case people think it's and or. have both. Not which one, it's how many.
Agreed. Agreed. You know, I think one of those names for Christ was Wonderful Counselor. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you need a counselor and need some counseling. I mean, that's how it works. You know, that's how it works. You need that counseling. So, your healing journey. Hold on. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I need to readjust myself, but your healing journey led you on this path. How did you reconcile the feelings that you were having throughout that time and space? You know, did you give yourself some grace? Did you forgive yourself? Did you begin to go on a path of, you know, treating yourself well? How were you treating yourself before you started versus while you were going through the process, and you said it's ongoing? So how do you treat yourself now if you look back?
So I had to forgive myself for many things that I did when I was unhealthy. I had to forgive myself for many things that I allowed to happen to me. I had to forgive myself for actions that I took towards other people when I was unhealthy. And once I forgave myself, the only thing I could do was behave differently. So things that I tolerated before, conversations I would tolerate before, behaviors that I would tolerate for myself and other people, I just had to stop allowing it. And that is how I showed myself forgiveness and grace and just a kind of a better way of life. There are people that support growth, and then there are people that don't realize that you're not that same person. And I have to give them grace because it's not really for me to change your mind. I'm trying to change my own mind. So you just have to watch me and make your own decision. And so now, if I find myself in a situation, or if I find myself, the wonderful thing is now I'm not in those situations too much. The truth is, when you're going through that growth period, people get away from you, and you get away from certain people, and some of it is very sad. So there was a time in that healing period when I could not go to the clubs anymore. I just couldn't go. I wanted something different, so I had to do something different. So those same homegirls who I was going to the club with, eventually they stopped asking me to go to the club. And the truth is, you realize that you have friends for certain things, because those same girlfriends who I thought were my friends, who I thought was like my ride or die, and this is no knock on them, this is no knock, but those same girlfriends who wanted to go to the club on Friday and Saturday, and I might say something like, well, no, I'm not gonna go to the club, but I'm gonna get ready to go walk around the track. You want to come with me to the track? They wouldn't come. So they were my friends in that time period. But, you know, I was still here. I was doing something different. Or, you know, instead of going, you know, to the club, there's a new movie that came out. Homegirl, let's go see the new movie. You know, so those type of friends, you know, fell off. When it came to, you know, relationships, if, you know, I took time to get to know myself. So when a dude came around and they were giving me things that I didn't want, just whatever it was, it don't matter. There's so many things that people bring into your life that you don't want. And when you are not healed and when you don't know yourself, you tolerate it, you take it, you justify it. You don't really know. And then sometimes you start to act a different way because now you got to act in relation to how that person is treating you. No, I don't want to do none of that. So when people will come around and start to give me things that I just did not want, I had to let that dude go. I had to and it took time. Nothing is overnight. I ain't see the nigga acting stupid on Wednesday and kick them out on Friday. Nah, it took time. But I knew what I wanted and what I didn't want. So when people came around and gave me the stuff that I didn't want, no. So those things, so I really don't get into too many situations now that are not part of something wholesome. It took, again, about 8 years to get here. But I don't have too many of those situations anymore. There's always going to be an irritant. Something's too high. Somebody said something at work. But it's nothing to where it's going to make you go back to some mess. You know what I mean? I just don't have that anymore. And people know. People don't come to me with the BS. They don't even, my phone doesn't even ring. You're not getting ready to call me while I'm sitting here on my beach and tell me no drama. You're not doing it. You're not doing it. No. Done.
I need that sound effect.
When you hear that, you already know. No. That.
So I want to talk about relocation for you. Relocation and as part of your healing journey. Was that, how necessary was it? What's some of the backstory that you can share? In regards to changing environments, changing surroundings, changing locations in regards to healing.
So I will tell you that there is no way that I could have moved out of the U.S. to the Caribbean if I hadn't already been on this journey. There's no way I could come over here with the attitude that I used to have. There's no way I could come over here cursing people out, yelling and loud. There is no way. There is no way I would have the husband that I have if I had that attitude from before. So all of this, me being able to move out of the U.S., me being able to live peaceably in the Caribbean, is because I took this time to heal from those hurts. Moving is a hard thing to do anyway. You move anywhere, it's like, but and moving from everything that is even harder. Like, I moved out of the United States. That's a whole different podcast right there. But I couldn't come here and not have already said, I'm going to heal my body. Because if I wanted to eat Popeye's chicken, I would be up Schitt's Creek, because there is no Popeye's chicken here. You know what I mean? If I was eating fast food 3 days a week, I would just be sick, because none of that is here. If I was still into the material items of every Nike, every bag, I would be sick and miserable, because none of that is here. So I had to already be okay with knowing my wants and my needs. I had to already be okay with healing from that child that didn't have all of the new sneakers, and thinking now I have to have 50 pair of sneakers, to coming over here and having 3. So all of that had to heal before I got here. I don't even have room for 50 pair of shoes over here. There's no need where I'm going. I can't swim in them damn shoes, so where I'm going. I got 10 bathing suits. I mean, but what I'm gonna do with 50 pair of sneakers? So I had to heal from, again, wanting to reward myself with the shopping spree. And if I wouldn't have taken that time to get to know my wants versus my needs, what was really important in life, then no, I would not be able to live here in the Caribbean. So that's one. So anybody thinking about moving out of the country to, I don't know, maybe there are some countries that are very similar to the US that where you can still have all of that if that's what you want. But my thing is, if you're gonna move out the country and you still want to have that type of lifestyle, why move? You know, when you move out of the country, you really are looking for something completely different. It's you might as well stay where you are. Don't waste your time because you're gonna be miserable. But if back when we first thought about kind of moving, I wasn't completely sold on the idea, move to where? This is not even a country that you hear of often. I live in St. Kitts and Nevis. Where is that? I was literally showing people on like Google Maps, zooming. It's here, look, this is not Jamaica. This is not Trinidad. This is St. Kitts and Nevis. So I wasn't completely sold on the idea anyway. It was why do we want to move? And it's funny, people come on vacation. Every time people come on vacation to the Caribbean, the first thing you think is, oh, I could live here. Oh my God, it's so nice. I could live here. But you don't live on a resort. So living here is completely different than being on vacation here. There are dirt roads, there are cows, there are goats. At least where I live, there are mountains, there are bugs, there are, you're completely surrounded by water. So you're not going anywhere anytime soon. You better be locked and loaded up in here because you're not driving from Georgia to Alabama. You here. So you have to be good with that. And so being able to sacrifice and give up things was vital in making this type of move. And if I hadn't have started that years ago, I don't think I would be able to do it.
I know you said it's a whole nother show, so hopefully we can do a part 2 because I'm mad nosy about the whole culture shift, culture shock type situation, transition. I want to know all of that. So I'll leave that for part 2, hopefully.
Yeah, you're gonna have to because it's a lot.
All of that.
It's a lot. It's a lot. The culture shock. I mean, first of all, these people here Caribbean and I'm straight New York City American. What, nigga? What you saying? Like I'm what? I mean, I don't even know I can't say it again because I don't even know what you say it again. Okay. So there's stuff like that. Just getting over the accents is one thing. And then as an American, I stick out. I don't look like these people, so all of that, they have to get used to me and I have to get used to them. And again, back to healing, the old Jay, why are you looking at it? In the city, somebody looks at you too long, you screw up your face. I can't be screwing up my face out here with these people. So yeah, so it's a lot of adjusting that it really should be a show because I don't know of anybody that has moved out of the country. I really don't know. And you hear things, you see, of course I started watching expats and other people, but there are there's little nuances that people don't really tell you about, that I think are so vital just day-to-day life that they don't really tell you. And I be keeping stuff so real that they're gonna be like, oh, okay. So it should be a show. It should be.
All right. All right. So I want to ask this question from the chat real quick. And
Oh, sure. First of all, do I need my glasses? The hell?
it says once you reach a certain place of evolution, the people that once knew you have to re-meet the newer version of you.
No, they don't have to re-meet me. The hell? Y'all stay back there with the OJ. No, you ain't got to re-meet me. No, not really. Not really. Because let me tell you something. There are going to be those people that knew you from back in the day, and no matter what you do, all they're going to remember is you back in the day. I'm not getting ready to spend my time and energy and life trying to convince you that I'm somebody different, that I think different, that I act different. I'm not getting ready to do that. So you can stay back there with them and watch me. I'm not, no. So I guess in a sense to touch on the question. Yeah, I guess, but that's not my responsibility to introduce myself at all. You already know me. You can watch. You already have inside access. I got people right now that I have known for years. And all of us, and for whatever reason, maybe we don't talk as much. I don't know. We don't talk as much. They've seen the growth and maybe they just didn't understand the growth. And then as they see not just the growth, but now they see some of the rewards of my growth. Now they want to call me. Now they want to message me. Now they want to know where I am and WhatsApp me and let me get my phone number. The hell, you already had access to me. You was with me on the journey before you saw the rewards. Now you want to be you was already my friend. You had a front row seat. Nah, you can't even get into the club no more. No, sir. So no, those people become fans. They are no longer friends. No, buy the ticket. Now you got to buy the ticket. No, because I'm not. You have to do too much convincing, and then because we're all human, do I really trust this person anymore? Do I really trust this old person that now wants to re-meet me? Do I trust them? Can I be their friend? They're gonna try to love me. They're gonna try, oh yeah, I know her. I've been knowing her. I knew her since this. I knew her since that. So they're gonna try to be your friend and act like they've been there with you. But can I be their friend? And I'm not. So yes and no. That you can give people grace, but they can have the grace over there. We always want to bring friends with us, and we always want to think, well, this person has known me a long time, or this person is a good person, and they were my friend, and maybe this can be our way of rekindling, or this, that, and the next. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. I think people show you along their journey and along your journey, people will show you where you are in their life, what placement you have. And there are people that will want to come back. And you have to ask yourself, why do they want to re-meet me? Why do they want to be my friend now? You have to ask yourself that. And just because you've known them for 20 or 30 years, that does not mean that they still get that place in your life. We have to get rid of survivor's guilt. And so, no.
See, I was about to push that button. You was like, Oh man. One of my favorite episodes from Martin was the story on how him and Gina met, and everybody was telling a version of the story, right? So you know what I'm finna ask you.
What's that?
You like no?
I know.
Your man. How did you meet your man?
Lord have mercy. This is part of my book. I'm giving away all my little book secrets here. Lord have mercy.
It's a little smidgen, okay? A little smidgen.
I love this story because some people know and some people don't know. I love the story of us. My husband and I met, dated, and married within 50 days, 50. So, when we met, my husband tells me that it was love at first sight for him. I think that's beautiful. I ain't feel like that. Love at first sight. What you talking about, bro? I don't even know you. and I'm serious. Like, I told my brother, ex-NYPD detective, yo, one do social for me, because I don't even know, bro. Like, who is this guy? But I met my husband. Do I go back? I met my husband at a time when I was kind of in the mode of, well, I'm not really looking for a man, a boyfriend, or anything. I was single. I had been out of a relationship, and I'll talk a little bit about that. The guy that I was with before my husband, let's say I'm year 5, 4 into this healing journey. I remember talking to God, and I was like, all right, God, I think I'm ready for a man. I'm ready. I'm healed. I want to give somebody the best of me. And so I'm talking to God, and I'm telling God, I want you to send me a guy. I want you to send me a guy who is financially stable, and I want you to send me a guy who's cute, and I want him to have this, and I want him to be able to really, take care of me and things like that. So I wind up what we call circling the block, and I wind up, being with this guy who I had known over 20 years, and it looked great. I mean, he was cute. He had the same vibe as me. We grew up in the same area in New York City. Cool relationship. And he had a house on the West Coast. I'm flying across the country. God, it was amazing. You know what I mean? And on the outside, it was like, oh man, people was loving the story because, this is somebody I had known for 20 years, and beautiful, beautiful, beautiful look on the outside. But bro came to me unhealed. He came unhealed. And there were things that were showing up in our relationship that were taking me back to where I was unhealed. And I didn't want to go there. I was no longer aggressive. I was no longer insecure. So why am I with you? And I'm feeling like I need to punch you in the face. Like, this ain't what I want to do with my life.
I'm gonna get it together. I just needed a second. Like, why do I want to uppercut you? Like,
right.
I retired the ice grill. Why am I ice grilling you? Like,
I'm telling you. So, I'm like, this is not what it, what I'm saying. So, and at the time, and I'm trying to kind of understand my role in this relationship. I'm like, well, God, did you send me here to show him love and healing? And I'm not that dude's therapist. No, that's not my role. I'm not taking on none of that. So I asked God, I prayed him about it. Nah, this is not what you have for me. I know you got more for me. Like, even if I'm single, I know it's more than this BS that I'm going through. So no, sir. So, but again, when Luke came to me, he really was what I thought was the answer to my prayer. The things that I had asked God for came to me in the package of this guy. So when it didn't work out, and when we did break up, I remember talking to God, and I was like, okay, What was that? What? Because I know God, he checked the boxes that I gave you. And few times in my life where I could say God has audibly spoke to me, and this was one of the times. He said to me, you know, you are correct. I gave you all that you prayed for. However, you never prayed for his spirit. Punched me dead in my mouth. I was like, what? And I just had to really hold that. Like, he is so right. I pray for him to be fine. I pray for him to have his own money. I pray for him to be funny. I pray for me and him to have the same background. I never prayed for this dude's spirit. I never prayed for him to be healed. I never prayed for him to be whole. I never prayed for him to have his own relationship with God. I never prayed for him, never. And that's what I got. I got somebody who wasn't. So at the time when I met my husband, again, I was single now. I'm single, I'm separated. And the only thing, I'm not even praying for a dude no more. I'm like, all right, God, whoever you send to me, I'm going to know him by his spirit. And I don't know what he's going to be like or where he's going to come from. You're going to have to let me know. And I met my husband on a real humbug. Like it's unbelievable to me. Quickly, it was at again, I'm single, and I had agreed to start to do things in my neighborhood, do things in my city. And I started following different things on Instagram for my city, different platforms, different businesses, small businesses, Black-owned businesses. I just started following those type of things just so I can get more into my city. And, you know, one thing you follow leads to another thing that you follow. And it led me to Gorgonist, my husband. My husband is a hip hop artist. And started following Gorgonist. And again, a little bit of an ego, you know, his Instagram said something like international hip hop artist representing the 5 elements of hip hop like no other. I'm from New York City. What you know about hip hop? So I'm following him just to feed. Listen, he don't know shit about hip hop. Like, that's really, I'm about to school this brother. First of all, you from the Caribbean. What you know about hip hop? Get out of here. So that is how I started following my husband. And for a few weeks, we just kind of followed each other. Didn't really, and I really wasn't following him to get with him. It was just, he was a hip hop artist and I like hip hop. He was just, you know, he was one of 3 that I followed that day. I don't know. So, and I hate to say it like that, but it's true. It wasn't like I was following him because I thought he was fine or because I was trying to get with him or I wanted to be a groupie. That was the reason. He had a show coming up. I probably followed him in like May. He had a show coming up the end of June, and through one of our Instagram exchanges, he had invited me to the show. And again, this is May, show was end of June. But in between that time, one day he asked me if we could just chat on the phone. And I was like, sure, you know, what's the harm in chatting on the phone? He had very kind eyes in his Instagram photo. You know, that's the only thing I could go off of. I mean, you know, you check through and you see stuff or whatever. And we chatted. We had a video chat one night and it lasted over 2 hours. It was a very nice conversation. And then he asked me to go on a date with him to a comedy show. And it was like 2 days later, you know, he asked me to go on a date. And I was like, oh, okay, this brother's kind of cool. And when we went out, he was highly respected. People was giving him shout outs and things like that. And I realized he was somebody I like to hang out with. And I don't know, 2 weeks later, he was like, listen, I know this sounds really, really quick, but I want to go all the way with you. And I'm thinking, all the way? What you talking about, bro? You know, let's go to JCPenney. I'm like, okay, you know, calling his bluff. Okay. Right. Right. He knew what he wanted. And I asked him to this day, what did you see? Because he took just as much of a risk on me as I took on him. You know, a lot of people was like, oh, I wouldn't marry nobody I've only known for, you know, 50 days. Well, Ninja, he married me too, because I know I'm crazy. So he took the risk. And that is how we met. And we got married, like I said, in 50 days. So the show that he had invited me to at the end of June was the show that he actually proposed to me on. It was his show. And in the middle of his set, he stopped and was like, I want to give a shout out to my girl. And I'm like, oh, yeah, yo, that's my man. He cute. Yep, he on stage. Ah. And then this fool dropped down on one knee and pulled out the rock. I was like, what? I think the whole video is on YouTube, so you know. And you know, follow Gorganus, Gorganus. So yes, he asked me to marry him at that show, which was in my mind going to be the first time that I was going to be actually seeing him. And he asked me to marry him, and 11 days later, we got married. So I ordered a dress from Shine or Shein, whatever you want to call it. I ordered a little dress. I went, and it was over with. It's been a beautiful thing. And then less than a year later, we moved to the Caribbean. So I will tell anybody that I hit the husband jackpot. That was the best 39 days of courtship ever. But I would not have that husband if I would have been the unhealed, sick version of me. He's very intuitive, but I think that in order for me to be a wife, because it is such an honor, a privilege, and a responsibility to be a wife. If I was the unhealed version of me, I would not have known what it is to be a wife to that man. And that took a lot of my own healing. I could not be aggressive or temperamental and be a wife. The attitude had to just go. There's so much you deal with in being a wife that you cannot have that type of attitude. So, yeah. We're gonna have to get his version of how he met me.
I'm ready for it. I am here for it. Okay, I am here for it. I'm here for it. And then I want to see y'all together. You know, I want to see the starry eyes, because starry eyes still exist. Okay, they're not just on TV shows and movies. You know they be acting and stuff like that. I be looking for the looks and the looks. Okay, y'all can tell me whatever y'all want to tell me. Y'all can't look. Your nonverbals either gonna confirm or deny what you talking about. Okay, I'll be looking like. Okay.
Absolutely, he's the best thing that ever happened to me. I tell him all the time. I wish there was a way that I could show him or something to let him know that it's best decision ever. He's the best thing that ever happened to me. That man is the most supportive thing that I've ever. It's one of those things you don't even want to brag too much because people think you're lying. But I'm telling you, when you meet that person that God unites you with, and I have to believe it's God, because I don't know if I would have married anybody in 50 days if it was just going by my own thoughts. So when you meet that person that God really puts you with, man, this is the easiest relationship I've ever been in. The easiest, and I done been with a ton of people. This is the easiest relationship that I have ever been in my entire life. To be so easy sometimes that I look at him like, I can talk about him forever, so we gonna move on, because y'all be like, get up off the damn stage. All she doing is talk about my man. You know what I mean? We don't, and then we trying to fly over, get the same kids to come and get them, and I have to buck shots at them. So now we ain't getting ready to talk about my man no more. Go look him up. Gorganus. Go look at him. Go find him that way. I ain't about to tell you how good it is. That's enough.
Look, I didn't want you to think that we wasn't discussing the topic. We've been discussing the topic the entire time. You know, I ain't
Of course we are.
Wait a minute, why are you asking me about this and this or this and this and this and this and this? Because righteous examples of these spaces are needed, and they're organic. You know what I'm saying? So, with your passions, with your goals, your aims and objectives, along the way, they start with you. So if you want people to connect with you, from a sales perspective, this is what we learned in the entrepreneurial space, that 90% of what we sell is our sell, 10% is our products and services. So if you didn't present relatable experiences, who would want to learn from you? So now we could get into the holistic space of your ability to be able to take people from the skepticism that you had your own self into a space where they can begin the journey of mastery, the journey of wellness, all of those things. Like, okay, whether it's a color line, whether it's a cultural line, whether it's a language barrier, whether it's in person, whether it's virtual, that space that you provide, uh, in that space, So what was it like after you went on this path of self-discovery to now help people in this process of self-discovery from a wellness perspective?
So I will say that people can't usually relate to me because I've always been the type to give you like the homegirl version, and I'm really going to tell you what your spirit, what the good, spirit God would say. There's a lot of things that I have had experiences with. I was married before. I was married when I was in my 20s, and my first husband was shot and killed. And not many people know that. So when people are telling me about traumas and hurts in their life, when I tell them like, bruh, you know what I mean? There was a time in my life where this was really happening. It's like, oh, wow, this really happened to her, and she's not insane. My oldest son, when he was 7, he was diagnosed with cancer. I went through chemotherapy and things like that with my child. We went through that, So I do have some life experience that, and everybody does. So people can usually come to me and talk to me about things. People have to get over the fact that I am pretty blunt and upfront. And I am really solution based. So I'm not the gossip friend. I'm not the one that you get ready to call me 2 or 3 times and tell me the same issue about your man, or the same issue about your kids, or the same issue about your finances. And in conversation number 2 or 3, we not talking about what we're doing to fix it. I don't want to gossip. I don't want that energy, because the truth is, when you start to tell me issues about your man, because sometimes we want to relate, I'm gonna start trying to think of issues with my man so we can have something to talk about. And I'm not doing that. No. So when you start telling me about issues with your kids, now I'm gonna try to figure out some issues. Well, I remember what my son was doing. No. Here's a solution to that. So I'm not that friend, and people know that. So they come to me when they really want help, not when they want to vent. I'm that. I'm that. You have to come to me because you want some real advice, or you want some real help. Hey Jay, how did you really heal your blood disorder? You want that. You don't want to just call me to tell me how you don't feel good. Did you take your vitamin? Did you drink water? Did you do your deep breathing? Did you go for a walk? What did you eat today? That's what I'm going to do. And if you're not ready for that, don't call me. You calling me because you want some real advice, or you want some real help. So when people, again, I'm always here to help. But we gonna be on solutions. I'm not gossiping with you about. I don't even gossip about TV shows, because I'm not doing that. I don't care what they did. Did he fix it? Okay. Yeah.
So taking on your first couple of clients, doing that same comfort space, looking back to go forward. How would you view yourself? How would you view that journey and an experience, from when you first started to now?
Oh, so much growth. Um, when I first started working with people holistically, I was still unsure of myself. I didn't know if I was good enough to tell them, this is how we can work on this issue. This is how we can solve this problem. And even if it was with yoga, which I was practicing and learning every day, I still didn't feel quite good enough. With all of the certifications and education that I've been doing with holistic wellness, and I still didn't feel good enough. And I had to get over that. One of my girlfriends, she teaches Reiki, and me and her had a conversation out of the blue one day, and we don't speak on the phone often. And we had a conversation out of the blue one day about 2 years ago when I was really ready to just jump in. And she was like, just do it. Just do it. Don't be afraid. And I think we put so much pressure on ourselves to be perfect, or even I put so much pressure on myself to be perfect. When I was teaching yoga, I had to make sure I said left or right or up or down. And now, I'll be like, you know what? Start with whatever leg you want to start with, but we're going to do it on the other leg anyway. I don't even put that pressure on myself to be perfect anymore. So now whenever I am guiding people, talking to people, coaching people, they get more of me and not just the education, not just the right wording. They get my heart more than my knowledge. If that makes sense. So now it's easy to tell people, to guide people to a way of wellness, because I'm not worried about saying it right. I'm not worried about if I use the right terminology for leg muscle. Nigga, I'm gonna say leg muscle. You know what I'm talking about. Stop playing with me. Stretch. If you worried about if I said, the femur bone, then you're not looking for me. Go to somebody else. So now I'm way more comfortable with what I know. And I don't worry about how people are going to you're going to get this, you're going to get the same mouth, this same attitude. But I think people can see that I'm genuine with what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm way more comfortable with how I guide people now. I had a young lady last week. It was a private yoga class, and it was her and she brought her friend, and they're medical students, and she wasn't feeling well. She had just started her cycle. She wasn't feeling well, and I said, "Oh, we'll do a yoga class. It's kind of easy, no worries." And as I laid them down into the shavasana, into their relaxation, I just started talking to them about the womb and how the womb is is where women create. Not just we create babies, but any ideas that they have comes from the womb. If they have to write a paper for their class, that creativity is going to come from the womb, from our gut. That's our intuition. That's where it's coming from. So, it's her time of the month. So I'm just really trying to talk her through loving her body, even though she's probably feeling like shit right now. And at the end of the class, she said, "Oh my God, you made me so proud to be a woman." And I'm like, and these are young women, these are 26-year-old women, and I'm like, really? When I first started doing this, I would have never felt, what's the word? I would have just never felt strong enough or confident enough to talk through that, you know. So now years later, you know, I just feel like I've learned so much about myself and what I am capable of that I can share it with people in a very real way, in just a very real way. And yeah, way more confidence, way more.
So reconciling that space of imposter syndrome that you were working through, looking like you or feeling like you were inadequate enough in a way, you know, how do you help people? Because I know that's one of those modalities that you have to deal with from the beginning, from the inception. You know, somebody seeing you, you know, they're looking at the finishing product versus the finished product, and they're like, oh man, ain't no way. I guess that's just you. You know, you just talented like that, blah 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 blah, to be able to do. How do you help to alleviate some of the negative self-talk and self-doubt in regards to that, and replace it and restore it with that space of, you know, what you just spoke about, self-confidence?
So in order to give it to myself, you know, that's why the journaling was so important for me, because there are times now that I can go back and I can see what I wrote in 2018 and say, damn, I got through that. I remember when I was in that sunken place. I remember when I didn't know how to figure that out. I remember when my child was sick. So the journaling for me really helps me to see my growth. Really does. So that's kind of how I give myself that extra boost of confidence. And again, I have an awesome partner that also lets me know, you know, you got this. That's one of his favorite words for me. You got this. So for me, I have my tool for that. So the only thing, not the only thing, but the thing that I do for other people is I give them that same tool. I give them that same tool. Again, I teach a lot of medical students, and I tell them, do you understand how hard it is to be a medical student? And you are here. And it might just take that little bit of focus to let them know whatever you did, you had to apply. You did it. So if you can do that, you can do this. So at the end of all of my coaching sessions, at the end of my yoga classes, I always thank my students, because I tell them, I do not take it lightly that you allow me to get into your head. Because honestly, that is what I do. I get into their head and I use my powers for good. So I boost their confidence. It could just be that they came to yoga class. I will take that little bit and tell them that you showed up. So if you can show up for this, you can show up for that. All we have is the present, this moment right here. Tomorrow doesn't exist. No point in being worried about something that doesn't exist. That's insanity. That's anxiety. You don't have to worry about that. Right here, you showed up. They come away feeling empowered, like they can do anything. So I just let them know that wherever they are right here, right now, is the best version of themselves. And they feel like superheroes. And as I'm doing it, you know, when I'm preaching to others, you know, I'm ministering to myself. You know what I mean? My words are vibration. So hell, if they hear it, I hear it too. You know. Yeah. That part is too easy. That's the easy part. That's the easy. That's part of who I am. You know, I love just because I know where I came from, and I often say that, you know, I became this because I didn't have this. So I never had anyone telling me at 26 to love my womb. So let me tell somebody that. I didn't have somebody, you know, my mother died when I was 29. So from the age of in my 20s, there was no mother figure. And that's kind of the age where you're kind of ready, you know, you need that. I didn't have that. So now I have the wisdom that I had to get through bumps and bruises and craziness that I can actually give somebody. So that part is kind of easy because I'm only giving them what I wanted or what I could have used. Somebody could have told me, when I was 26 or 27, hey, you can start drinking this type of tea or this herb now, and it'll help you when you're 46 and going through menopause. Hell, I would have been drinking the damn tea. So these are things that I tell people now, because I know it now, and I can, pay it forward and pay it back, however that's going to go. So yeah, that part is too easy. The encouragement part is too easy.
So what are the results? What's some of the results, some of the stories you can share, or a story that you can share where you were affirmed, like, yeah, God, this is it for me. You understand what I'm saying? This is it for me. Whether it's a personal story or a client story, or if you got one of each, we appreciate it. No pressure though. No pressure.
No, none at all. The perfect example of me walking in my path and walking in God's will is when I asked for God to enlarge my territory. And I don't know what that meant. You pray for things sometime and you don't know what kind of prophetic word you're preaching over your life. And I asked for that. And I've asked for that many times, but here I am now in a foreign country, and I teach people from all over the world. My impact is all over the world. I've taught people from Germany, Puerto Rico, of course, St. Kitts, the UK. I have returning clients. I have clients that are in their 70s. I have students that are in their 20s. If I wasn't walking in my purpose, if I wasn't being a good and faithful servant, if I was not giving thanks to the Most High, to my Creator, I do not believe this would be happening for me. Right now, your following sees me. My territory is enlarged. So I have many, many personal stories about one person who cried, or one person who now got into this pose, or somebody that I helped out. But the impact is all of these people that are going back to their country and got to know me. I can actually, this is not online. This is a person I physically touched, that I've talked to, that I've shared a laugh with, that I've shared a tear with. This is all, in the short time that I've been here, that I've hugged, that has learned a line dance from me, and they're 70 years old, and now they're going back to Minnesota. This is all real stuff. And so the stories that I have are amazing stories, but I think the best evidence is evidence. And this is what I get to do. And I believe it is because I followed my calling. I took the time to heal my spirit, my mind. I took that time. I cannot tell you enough how vital it is, especially for women, to take that time to get to know themselves, get to know what they can tolerate and what they won't tolerate. So you can find out who you are. And when you find out who you are, you will be able to do what you want to do, and your impact can be global. And that is my story. That is my story.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And it's also a part of your legacy, a legacy of healing, a legacy of restoration, a legacy of confronting uncomfortable truths and exposing lies within, removing negative self-talk and doubt. Like, it's proof. You're proof. There's proof that you are worthy, and you find the worthiness in others. That willingness. When you was talking to God about that prayer earlier, when you said, just checked all of the boxes, and the response was you didn't pray for the Spirit. These are vestigial things. These are vestigial things and requirements and standards that that you had that was there, but this was also a part of your old self. This was a part. So you prayed from the space of your old self. Excuse me. And proof of it was in your healed space, these things weren't a requirement. So it's like, okay, this is a test. Like, all right, are you going back into this old cycle, or did you graduate? Did you really graduate? You see what I'm saying? All right, now it's time for these skills to be put to use. So you put them to use in a proper space where you was in that environment as close to that as you could be, and you did not relapse. You see what I'm saying? You did not relapse. You excuse me, you graduated, and now you had this ascension in no limited time. It didn't take years to figure it out. It didn't take months to figure it out. It was like, all right, this is it. This is right here. Bam. Let's go. You understand what I'm saying? So it was beautiful. And that's an ascension, the quickening, so that mantra, enlarge my territory. I think you need to take that show on the road. That's you. You know what I'm saying? What Martin say, and you so great. That's you. That's you. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. Understand that. That is beautiful and powerful. And I'm glad that it's a part of your legacy and the legacy of renewal, renewal. Like the scripture said, be you not transformed by the world, but a renewal of the mind. That renewal of the mind. You had that renewal of the mind, so your reality is renewed. So those who are not renewed, they can't exist in your circumference. They can't exist in your space. They could come by, they could look, they can gander, but they can't exist there, So because two things can occupy the same place at the same time. So if they're not renewed, they're not welcome, Yeah. Yes. This has been amazing. I didn't want to steal too much more of your time, but I do want to give you an opportunity to speak about anything that is on your heart, on your mind, that somebody needs to hear right now, or find a message of empowerment, or find a message of correction, whatever spirit is leading you to speak, Mother, speak unto us, okay? And then tell people where to find you and how to get a hold of you.
I love it. Again, thank you, Brother Knowledge, for this, because this is amazing. I'm always, again, humbled and appreciative. I respect these spaces because your words do cast spells. So anytime my words can go over some airwaves and reach the people, I want to make sure that I'm making a good impact. Anybody who's listening, I'm telling you, the journey to wellness is not an easy journey. But it is definitely possible when you renew your mind. You do have to transform your thinking first. You have to be self first without being selfish. And when you put your whole self first and you heal that trauma, you heal that damage, because we all have it. And it's a hurtful thing. But when you're able to realize that those things have to be healed, put in the work. Don't just talk about it. Be who you post to be. Don't just talk about the word. And understand that it's going to be hard. You really will lose friendships. You will lose people who you thought were going to be there. But what you gain is so much more. If you do need just some encouragement, I am here. I recently became an ordained minister, so I can perform weddings and baptisms and all that good stuff and stuff like that. I mean, I can. So hopefully I could perform a couple of weddings out here in St. Kitts. However, but besides that, because, that's just a piece of paper that they give you to let other people know who you are. I already know who I am. It don't really matter. But I did it anyway. However, if people do need some encouragement, or they just kind of, have some questions about life, I'm here. You can follow me everywhere on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Pinterest, Facebook, YogaBae Jay. YogaBaeJay@gmail.com. Everything is YogaBae Jay. So if you Google YogaBae Jay, you will find me. And I'm just a very real person. So if you like this, and if you think you can handle, the conversations, the words that are coming out of my mouth, then, get at me. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you're feeling. I can pray with you. I can talk with you. I can, give you some journal prompts. I don't know, all that good stuff. But this is me. This is me. And I am willing to share me with you. So.
Well, thank you for your time. Thank you for your jewels. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your commitment to help us in wellness, in spirit, and in truth. Okay? You are a blessing to us all and a motivation for us to get our lives together, because we could be in our own way. Okay? We could be in our own way and blocking our own blessings, not learning the lessons that we're supposed to learn. So
I think most of the time we really are. I think that's really what a lot of it is. Fear is a terrible thing. And I know we're not going to rehash anything, but fear is terrible. And we don't sometimes realize that we operate a lot from a place of fear. Fear of failure, fear of what somebody said to us back in the day, fear of losing something. We operate a lot from a place of fear, scarcity, lack, and we can't love like that. We can't love like that. So heal. Take the time to do the work. Do the work. Go outside and get some fresh air. Move your body. Write stuff down. Let's get it done. Is that me? I think that's me. I look like something I did. That's my link tree. Yeah, that's my link tree, I think. That look like me right there.
okay.
Yeah, that is me. Yes, follow me, ask me your questions. I am here, and yes, it's always a good day with YogaBae Jay.
Most definitely. I will put this in the description one more time for the family so they can get their life. Okay, since we be needing to get our life.
I'm trying to be that bridge. People want to move overseas. I'm trying to be that bridge. I'll take you out the U.S. The U.S. is, we ain't gonna talk about the U.S. too much because I was born and raised there, but the U.S. got some issues, and we ain't got some issues over here. We have issues.
Yes, I'm excited for part 2. Maybe we could get Mr. so we could get, his version. You see what I'm saying? Of y'all coming together and celebrate y'all and celebrate this, transition. A beautiful part of the story, part 2.
That would be dope. That would be because he's Caribbean. His personality is way more laid back than me. So yes, you'll get definitely 2 awesome perspectives. It'll be a fun show. Absolutely.
Most definitely. Well, again, thank you for your time, Mother, and thank you for the love and the guidance and the correction, because we need to add some stuff. Okay, I'm gonna get my add button together, like add.
We ain't doing that. Add. Okay. That's gonna be it. When I make my good add, y'all already gonna know. Add. Don't come to me with that. I love y'all. Peace.
Peace and blessings.
Hypno music.
Yeah, gotta let it go. Knees on the ground and I let it go. Yeah, I'm loving my life. Yeah, I'm loving my life. Yeah, gotta let it go. Hands on my knees and I let it flow. Living my life. Yeah, I'm loving my life. Shake it down to my left. Shake it down to my right. Reach towards the sky and wide and round and feel fine. Shake it down to my right. Shake it down to my left. 'Cause I'm feeling blessed. Feeling at my best. So yeah.
Ayy, Sunshine Monet with the affirmations
peace,
to enjoy your day with.
Sunshine Monet.
You are listening to Chakra Music.
I came through with intentions of destruction. You said you wanted freedom, well it's me then that you wanted. I moved in gratitude as my soul was being summoned. The consciousness has returned, Christ is really coming. I make these flows for the souls that's rich in indigo. I make some goals for they glow since they was embryos. Access the records, they lectures, keep your principles. Enemies infect you, don't let them reach your pinnacles. Reversing curses that's embedded in religions. They wound up in your soul, that's why you feel in tension. I'm remixing declensions before Sumerians existed. It's something in the water, don't get caught, you'll get acidic. I bury enemies, pay pinnacles to the witness. You say my name in threes, I appear in your vision. Write Iliads in me, I'm the witcher in your system. Silly as can be, there's no opposite in infinite. I'm the goddess of crossroads, touching all directions. With the skull and crossbones that call to the vexes. I applaud the protectors, I'm the god of inflection. They see the demon in me and still pause the respecters. I need no translation, vibrating from universe. My throat mansplaining while my yoni do the work. Mask off, crowns on, bombshell on all the arts. Mask off, crowns on, bombshell on all the arts. Mask off, crowns on, bombshell on all the arts. Mask off, crowns on, bombshell on all the arts.
Enoch 7 prophet, move like the full winds do. My energy is useful, my thoughts are old school. So I move with a Bob Slim. Say I'm sexy, haircut like Anita Baker, real lovely. Caught up in the rapture, it's kinda risque. Kisses and faces on public is real frisky. Touche.
You are listening to Chakra Music.
Mask off.